Welcome everybody to another exploring adventure here on Maine Motor 1. Today I'm at the South Florida Fairgrounds for the South Florida Fair. Sit back and relax and enjoy today's adventure. Welcome Moto Nation to another exciting adventure. Today we are poking around the South Florida Fairgrounds and the South Florida Fair. It was an overcast day on this Saturday morning, temperature hovering around 69 degrees. The rain was looming, but the rain was really just a drizzle for the most part. Now, this was my first time ever at the South Florida Fair and first time at the South Florida Fairgrounds. Fairgrounds located on Southern Boulevard in West Palm Beach. In today's adventure, we explore the fair itself, plus Yesteryear Village, which is a restoration of a typical Florida town from the early days of Florida, a showcase of buildings and items from the late 19th century. The South Florida Fair is held annually in the West Palm Beach area and runs for 17 days, typically in January, which according to SouthFloridaFair.com is a top attraction. Man, I had a pretty good time and I would like to come back again next year. Now, I must admit, I'm not a big rides person, but my favorite thing at a fair is by far the food. I love eating, and man, this whole front part of the fair right here was just wall to wall food vendors. Fried chicken, fried Oreos, tacos, nachos, bacon. This place was a bacon place that I got Big Mac and cheese. And man, I'm a Yankee from Long Island. This to me is a typical country fair. That's what it felt like. And it's kind of crazy because you're living in West Palm Beach and you're by the beach and it feels like you're in this cosmopolitan mecca. But out here on Southern Boulevard at this fairground, it was straight up country. I had that country feeling the whole day and it was awesome. In addition to the food vendors, they had a couple beer gardens which looked pretty interesting. Unfortunately, couldn't partake in any adult beverages because I was working. I pretty much just walked around and soaked in all the fair atmosphere. But man, oh man, if you live in the South Florida area, those who've grown up in the South Florida area, got any stories or anything relating to this fair, hit up the comment section. And for those that are new to the area, I will definitely recommend checking out the South Florida Fair. So I whipped out my new stabilizer, my DJI OM4, and it got some attention from some of the fair staff, including security, but once I explained that I was a YouTuber, I was good to go. In fact, several people at the fair were inquiring about my channel, and I must say, people get a little excited when they find out you are a YouTuber. Now, I'm starting to integrate some walking features into these videos, edited with voiceover and some music, but let me know if you'd like to see this video unedited, and I can leave another copy unedited, so you have an edited and an unedited version of this video. I would like to know what your opinion would be on that. Hit up the comment section and let your voice be heard. So down here in South Florida at a fair in the middle of winter. Another strange thing about living in Florida, I can guarantee you up in New York there are no carnivals or fairs or festivals in the middle of winter, especially since around this time I was making this video, New York got hammered with snow. And it's weird because it is winter but don't feel like winter. It totally felt like summer. Now, the other cool thing was there was an overcast sky, and the whole time it felt like it was late in the evening, but it wasn't evening time. In fact, I got here just past 10 o'clock a.m. The fair opened at 10 o'clock. Remember this ride, the Gravitron, which they renamed to the Starship 4000? But I'll be willing to put the cookies on the line and say, it's the Gravitron. And what is a fair without a carousel? And another beer garden. No, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going around in circles. They had more than one beer garden. And here on the main stage, a band called One Way to Paradise, and they were singing some Grateful Dead. They were singing some Grateful Dead stuff. Oh, I was like, cool, and I'm a big Grateful Dead fan. And I always had this question as a YouTuber. Sometimes you got music and you get the content match and you get the copyright claim. But I wonder if it was a Grateful Dead song, does that count? Because Dead used to let people record their own concerts and stuff, you know? It was all for the music, not the money. So I wonder if that metaphor for Deadheads still applies in the age of YouTube. Coming up next, we are going to check out a military helicopter and then peruse through Yesteryear Village. Stick around because this video is just going to get better. Over here we have a military Jeep, which I think these things are just so cool. And of course the Humvee, proudly displaying the stars and stripes, and man, look at that. That thing is packing heat. And here is the interior of a military helicopter that they had on site. This was pretty cool, and there was a couple army guys, and they actually let me stick my camera in there and have a little peek. This was totally cool, man. I tell you what, this fair was just one of the greatest things I've been to in a while, and I'm so glad that I got to capture all this cool stuff on camera. And now we're heading to Yesteryear Village. Yesteryear Village, a history park, 10 acres, displaying an old school Florida town from the 19th century. There's an old schoolhouse, general store, church, post office, and a small telephone museum, which we'll check out momentarily. Yesteryear Village, located on site at the South Florida Fairgrounds. Here is a typical 19th century house, and we was invited inside to take a look. This gentleman was very nice, and he let me come inside to do some filming, and it turns out that he is from Long Island. Oh, that's nice. I guess people who don't know a lot about Florida just think Florida is just like Miami, but some of these houses are old school colonial when you think about it. You know, that's how all the states started. Colonies. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I think one of the things about living in America is, in a lot of ways, we are the same, but at the same time, we got a lot of differences. But the similarities, I think, are what glues our society together. Each little state, its own little experiment, contributing to the big giant experiment. So over here's a little schoolhouse. Ah, that's pretty cool. Man, I was so happy that, they let me go in, do my recording, didn't bother me, and I got all this cool footage, man. And this was pretty cool. Here we are now inside this old schoolhouse, which is one of the popular spots here in Yesteryear Village. Wow, this is so cool, man. Totally cool. Over here is a pig race track. Yes, they weren't having any races when I was there, but that was cool. And here is an old school jailhouse. Right here. Let's see if we can get in. And more importantly, get out. Now for the Telephone Museum. This is the Southern Bell Telephone Exhibit, built in 1931. This structure had all old school telephone equipment. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone and founder of the American Telephone and Telegraph Company, also known as AT&T, back in 1885. Kind of amazing how far the telephone technology has come, especially now since we all have a phone in our pocket. Technology, always amazing. So this little house is a museum. A museum exhibiting artifacts from the old school telephone system down here in the South, which down here would have been Bell South. Of course, up in New York, you had 9X. And then, of course, eventually it all became Verizon. But, man, this is pretty cool, man. And now, ladies and gentlemen, chickens. And turkeys. Almost makes you want to become a vegetarian. The South Florida Fairgrounds, 100 acres on the site of the former Palm Beach Speedway. And the South Florida Fair has been running for over 100 years, founded in 1912, originally the Palm Beach County Fair, in March of 1912 in downtown West Palm Beach. Now we're inside the exhibition center where they had a little mini indoor flea market set up. It was alright, but to be honest, I think the fun stuff was outside. And as I was approaching the exits, I stumbled upon this parade. In summary, this was a fun day out. You know, the weather, it was gray, it was raining a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And it turned out to be a fun day at the fair, the South Florida Fair. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's video. My name is Manny for MannyMoto1. Hey, there's a lot of stuff to see out there, so get out there and see it, and I will see you next time.